All right, let's dive in. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a concept that's usually just for the world's wealthiest families, the family office. We're going to explore what it is, how it really works, and why it's seen as the ultimate playbook for turning financial success into a real, lasting legacy.
This quote just hits the nail on the head. Imagine you've just sold the business you poured your life into. It's a huge win. But then, all of a sudden, you're drowning in complexity. Investments, taxes, lawyers, estate planning. That incredible gift of wealth, well, it starts to feel a lot like a full-time job you never even applied for. And the stakes? They are unbelievably high. Get this, only 16% of family enterprises actually survive to see the third generation. Just let that sink in for a second. It's proof that just having the money isn't nearly enough to build a legacy. Without a professional, really structured approach, fortunes can, and very often do, just disappear. And that, right there, is what we call the wealth paradox. It's that tipping point when we realize that juggling all your different advisors, your lawyers, your accountants, your investment managers, has become this totally exhausting full-time gig. A decision you make over here can trigger some huge, unexpected tax bill over there. Without one single integrated strategy, you're just opening the door to inefficiency, family conflict, and a ton of missed opportunities. So, what's the solution to all this chaos? For a growing number of families, the answer is a family office. The best way to think of it is like a family's own mission control, right? A central command center designed to bring order, deep expertise, and a shared vision to every single part of their financial world. But this brings up the first huge decision. Do you build your very own, or do you join one that's already up and running? So at its heart, a family office is basically the conductor of a really complex orchestra. See, it's not just about the individual musicians, the star investment manager or the brilliant tax advisor. It's about making sure every single one of them is playing from the exact same sheet of music, creating one single harmonious strategy for the family. And this table really breaks down that big build or join decision. On one side, you've got the single family office, or SFO. Think of it as the completely bespoke, custom-built option. You get total control, total privacy, the whole shebang. But that level of control comes with a hefty price tag, which is why it really only makes sense for families with assets north of, say, $250 million. But then, on the other side, you have the multifamily office, the MFO, and this has been a total game changer. It lets multiple families pool their resources together, giving them access to world-class expertise for just a fraction of the cost. This makes it an incredibly powerful option for families starting out around that $30 million mark. Okay, but having the right structure, that's only half the battle. How the office actually runs, how it makes big decisions, how it handles conflict, how it keeps the family aligned, that all comes down to its governance. Honestly, you can think of governance as the family office's operating system. And without a really strong one, even the most brilliant plans can just completely fall apart. So what are families really focused on here? Well, it's all about creating clarity. This poll shows that, regular meetings are important, but what families are truly hungry for are crystal clear roles and a formal, agreed-upon way to make decisions. They get it. Ambiguity is the absolute enemy of a healthy, successful family enterprise. When things are fuzzy, that's when the trouble starts. Now, one of the biggest traps a family can fall into is what some experts call the absolute monarchy. This is where the founder, the patriarch or matriarch, keeps all the control, making every single decision. And look, it might seem efficient at first, but it creates a massive bottleneck. But even more importantly, it completely shuts out the next generation. They never get the experience, they don't feel engaged, and that puts the entire family's future at huge risk. The solution? It's to evolve into a constitutional monarchy. The founder doesn't have to give up their crown, but they create a system of shared power. This means actively bringing the next generation into the process with things like shadow committees. It's brilliant, really. You let them debate and wrestle with real decisions, but in a low-risk environment. It completely reframes succession. It's no longer this one single scary event, but a gradual cultural shift that ensures a smooth, successful transition of leadership. And this whole system is often captured in a really powerful document, the family constitution. Now, don't think of this as some stuffy legal contract. It's more like the family's North Star. It writes down everything, from the family's deepest held values and mission, all the way to the nuts and bolts of how decisions get made. It's the playbook that keeps everyone on the same page for generations. Which brings us to what might be the ultimate challenge, passing the torch. Because at the end of the day, generational wealth isn't just about transferring assets from one account to another. It's about transferring knowledge, transferring values, and transferring the skills needed to be a really effective steward of that wealth. Financial capital is obviously important, but it's the human capital that truly guarantees the legacy continues.
And that leads us to this. This is the critical question, isn't it? How do you actually prepare the next generation for the immense responsibilities they're going to inherit? It requires a fundamental shift in mindset. You have to stop seeing them as passive inheritors and start empowering them as active, capable leaders who don't just understand what they have, but why they have it and how to protect it. So, how do you do it? The answer is a deliberate, structured education that goes way beyond a typical MBA. I mean, we're not just talking about learning how to read a balance sheet here. It's about mastering the hard skills, like how to do due diligence on a complex private equity deal, and combining that with the absolutely crucial soft skills, like how to navigate a tense family meeting or manage your public reputation. This is how you build not just competent investors, but truly confident leaders. Okay, so finally, it's so important to remember that the family office isn't some static, unchanging institution. Not at all. It's constantly evolving, constantly adapting to meet the demands of a changing world, from brand new technologies to shifting family values.
You can really see the journey on this timeline. I mean, it all started with that ultra-private, single-family Rockefeller model. Then, the MFO came along and made the whole concept way more accessible. Today, it's all about integrating technology for everything from reporting to cybersecurity. But the future? The future is being driven by values. Families are more focused than ever on aligning their money with their mission through things like ESG, that's investing in environmentally and socially responsible companies, and impact investing, which seeks to create a positive social good right alongside a financial return. So we end with this question, which really gets to the core of everything we've talked about. Is a legacy really measured by what you leave behind, or is it measured by who you've prepared to lead? The modern family office would argue pretty strongly that it's the latter, because the most valuable asset isn't what's in a bank account, it's the human capital sitting right there around the family table, ready and prepared for whatever comes next.